Now that we have UV unwrapped everything, we can start painting process. Before we paint actually, I just quickly want to check the resolution of each texture. For example, let's give texture, image, create new, let's have 4K 496 for this, for the wood part, and say test alpha, not blank, but UV, just UV grid. It's just a checker tile. So click OK and connect to base color. This is the resolution. As you can see, it's pretty fine, I think. It's consistent across all these wooden planks. And now let's select this, metal fixtures. And UV grid, let's hit OK, and color to color. Now, if you look at this, it's almost the same, right? The tiles, the checkerboard, the resolution is pretty much the same. What if I give 4K to this image texture? Let's use that. Where is it? Test checker. This is 4K, remember, the same as we are using for wood. Let's connect this, and now look at the resolution. It's too much. We don't have this detailed resolution for only these small metal fixtures. What about the, oh sorry, let's use that metal test. That's fine. What about these? If I use the same this metal test on these screws, shift control V, control C, control V, as you can see, it's too much, very fine details. I think we don't need that. So we only, if I use 4K for example, it will be even, look at this, shift B, that's really fine detail. We don't have to do that. We can just get away with 512, I think. Even this is too much for these screws, but that's fine. So now we know what kind of resolution we can use for these different parts. You shouldn't just use 4K for all of these parts because it's just too much. Or you can just use one texture, 4K for all of these details, but if it is separate, we can, there is more control. We can control that easier, a bit easier. Now let's go to, let's select this wood, go to shading, let's get rid of this, and image texture, wood, base color, and it's not UV grid, it's just blank, and the color will be, I don't know, any color, because we are going to, let's say it's black. We're going to paint it with wood. Let's come here. That's it, wood base color. If we go to texture paint now, we can just come here and we have this wood base color. Now if I paint with white, I think we can paint here because these are the same. And I think I turned on this. We don't have to turn this on. Now, as you can see, this is how we paint. I think I should have turned on this occlude. Now it's working well. So yeah, occlude is better. Now let's quickly fill this with black again, X, and fill it. Yeah, completely dark. Now, yeah, now everything's okay. Now everything's fine. Yeah. I would go into edit mode and select this, L, and just go out of edit mode and turn this on. This way we will paint only on the selected objects, selected parts of the mesh. Now let me quickly import a texture to paint with. So let's click, call it wood, press this to go to texture panel, and let's open one wood texture. So I imported one wood texture. And remember to paint with white, because if you paint with a different color, the wood will be that color. So let's paint with white, everything at 1. This is white, and now press 3, maybe, yeah, and paint. If you go closer, the details will be finer. If you go further away, the details will be bigger or larger. You can paint from the inside too. You can press 3 or Control 3 to and press 8 and paint just like that. If you notice any repetition, you can just turn the viewport a little and paint. Yeah, that's okay. And in the same way, you can go out of edit mode, select these, or just press L, 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 L. And this way you can go out of edit mode, press 1 and paint. A little integration here. If you want to learn everything about creating materials, texture painting or baking, just check out my full Blender course on Udemy, where you can also learn all the fundamentals, shortcuts, modeling, shading, lighting, rendering, modifiers or add-ons, and everything else in Blender in more than 200 lessons and 36 hours of content. We will also make 6 projects from scratch, so if you're interested, the link is in the description below. Now if I paint, the direction of the texture is wrong, so I need to rotate the texture. We can rotate it from here, or we can press Ctrl F to rotate it just like that. Now I think everything is painted. We can go to layout, select this object, go to shading and create a texture and paint the other parts just like that. When you're painting, if you want to move from one object to another, you can press Alt-Q. For example, if I want to paint on this wood, Alt-Q, and I paint on the wood, but I don't want to do that. Alt-Q to move to this screw, or to move to this panel, something like this, yeah. Now that we have finished painting all the objects, we can proceed to the next step, which is detecting edges and crevices and creating some masks for them.